So let's continue with our videos on data types. So I'm going to talk about another data type at this point, and that data type is called, I'm going to come here, is called a string type. And the string type is basically every single character that I can think of that you want to put together. Like you want to have a word, right? A sentence, a paragraph, something that is a combination of different characters that you're going to put together, but it's not a number, right? You use this type, which is called a string. To create a string type, you can use either single quotations or double quotations. But you need to be careful. You need to have a matching single quotation or matching double quotations. So let's go to shell and see how we can create a string type. So to do it again, it is very simple. You just need to figure out what type of quotations you want to have. I'm using double quotation, matching double quotations. And I'm going to say, it is a nice day. So if I press enter, it's going to show you that line. It's going to show you that's a string, right? So you can put any character that you want. You could have letters, special characters, you can have numbers and combine them in however you want, okay? So I can have a sentence like, hello, exclamation, for, and you see I have letters, I have special characters, and I have number in it, right? So you can have a combination of characters. As long as you put them inside quotations, it's going to create a string type for you. You can have, for instance, just letter, just a special character, just numbers inside a quotation. You still have a string type. So going back to our types here, what type is this value? It is a string type. So whenever you see a quotation, it is a string type, no exceptions. So quotations means you have a string type. Even though it looks like a number, this is a numeric string. It is not a number. If you want to make it a number, you can do that, but we are going to learn about it later. This one is a string. It's a string, nothing else. If I have, for instance, 5.2 inside quotations, even though it looks like a float type, it is a string. Right? Nothing else. Is a string type that I have because I put it inside quotations. Remember when we're talking about numeric values and I said as soon as you see a period, that means you have a float type, right? And there were some specific characters that were allowed when you were creating numbers, like digits, like optional signs character or period or E character, E letter. Those are valid characters that you can have when you're creating a number. Quotation, we're not part of it. So if you have a quotation, that means you're creating a different type. So as soon as you see quotation, that means you have a string. That's a string, no question. So if you see something that looks like a number, but is inside quotations, is a string type, right? So that's it. So same with numeric values, you can create a variable that holds a string type. So I can say my var is equal to, and my var is equal to, and I can say hello word. So that is my string, right? So if I want to see what is inside that box, what is inside that variable, I can simply say, okay, show it to me. And you just type the name and show it to you in the shell that you have, okay? So that is how you do, same concept with variables. You have your box, you have your safe, and you put the information you want in it. It could be a numeric type, it could be a string. You just put it inside that box and you have access to it whenever you need it. You can reuse that variable over and over again, okay? Unlike other programming languages, you don't need to define what data type you're creating. Python detects the type for you. Okay. All right, so going back to what we have here. So far we learned about 3 data types. We have integer, we learned about integers and float, both are numeric data types. And then we learned about string data types, which are very simple. You just put the quotations and boom, you have the string type, right? And we also talked about variables, all right? With variables, you're basically storing the information. You're saving them inside a box, inside a safe, in a shell. You just put it somewhere to be able to use it whenever you need it. Instead of using actual values, you use that name that you assign to a variable, okay? So you create that variable, you have that variable has a value that has it has an identifier that is assigned to a value for you. Okay, so we are going to keep this video very short, and in the next video we are going to talk about some of the predefined functions.